Hi, I'm John Hawthorne from Delaware Valley Outdoors. It is the first week of September and I am sitting here at my computer and I'm actually doing some scouting for deer. Now I know that may sound a little bit weird, scouting for deer while you're sitting here at your computer, but what probably a lot of you are aware of is that you can use a program called Google Earth to do a lot of your preliminary deer scouting from. Google Earth is absolutely free to download. If you just search for Google Earth, you will find a free download. And what it is it allows you to have satellite pictures of any place really in the world. And what I use it most specifically for is for looking at my hunting spots from the air so that I can begin the process of trying to decide where I'm going to be placing stands. Now, nothing beats actually getting in the woods and looking to see where trails are and stuff, but a lot can be revealed here on Google Earth that you may not realize. What's gotten very, very popular in hunting now is trying to hunt travel routes or areas that funnel deer. And so what I'm going to want to show you are the woods that I have here behind my house. And I'm going to show you a couple of the funnels that I've been able to find in places where I plan on hanging tree stands for the year upcoming. So let's take a look. Okay, here is a Google Earth picture of the woods behind my house. I've got a little asterisk here that actually marks my house. You can see it here on the road. And then you can see the various pieces of woods and fields that are all around my house. My house is surrounded by two different agricultural fields that vary from year to year. This year I had soybeans in both fields. And one of the spots that I have tried hunting before is this back corner here. Oftentimes we would see deer come out into the field and work their way down here. And this little corner here has produced a couple of deer for us. An inside corner of a field where some deer can bed and come in these areas. The biggest piece of woods here, of course, is right here and right here. There are a couple of creeks that kind of meander their way through here. And what becomes very obvious when you look at an aerial photo here is this area right here. Look at how this large piece of woods and this large piece of woods here necks down to a very, very thin area. Now, this is the place where I plan on setting up a stand this year. I've never hunted here before. We've taken some deer back from here, and we've taken some deer from up here, but I really feel that this is going to be a major, major travel route. The difficulty that we're going to find is getting the appropriate tree to put a stand into. But if you will take the time to look at your hunting spots this way, you're going to find these types of areas, and probably even areas that you may not have even considered hunting before. The deer sign in this area is actually fairly low, but the travel routes, any deer that wants to go from this piece of woods over to this piece of woods, 99 times out of 100 is going to go through here. Now, the other neat feature that Google Earth can do is it can tell you distances. I can come up here and click on distance, and over here you get a readout here, and I'm going to keep it selected in yards, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click down here on the woods and drag to the other side of the woods and click again. This piece of woods here is only, it's tough to read on camera, but it's 54 yards wide. So if I can successfully put a stand right in the middle here, that means at most I'll have a 27-yard shot this way and a 27-yard shot this way. And these areas are just amazing as far as being able to take deer and get deer in a confined space to shoot. Okay, this is another area in the Plumsteadville area where I'm allowed to hunt. That we brought up on Google Earth again. And this one takes a little bit more time to dissect. We've spent a lot of years hunting these woods here. And some years we've had good years, and some years we've had some difficult years. And the surprising thing was that with all these woods over here, we used to spend a lot of time over here. And there is still times where we spend over here. And we used to really spend almost no time over here. You can see these ball fields here, and there are some houses further down, and we would stay away from this just because there never seemed to be much deer sign. But what we soon learned, and let me kind of back out here just a little bit to show you. This piece of woods is somewhat isolated. You've got shopping malls and you've got housing developments. And what you have is you have a patch of woods here and then another patch of woods down here. And that any deer that wants to go from this patch of woods up to this patch of woods and eventually work its way to here is going to have to pass through this little corner here. Now let me zoom back in on that and I'll show you what we're talking about. Just imagine you're a deer that's coming along here and you have to make a decision as how you want to get over here to this side of the screen. You're not going to come out here in these open fields unless it's nighttime, of course. You're not going to come over here where these houses are, and even these fields here, leave you exposed. This deer is either going to take this small little route here, this connector route to get here, or he's going to slip through this corner and work around this way. But either way, this corner here is the key kind of funnel area or neck down area where any of these deer are going to travel. And I'll tell you now, and we have killed many, many deer right in this corner, including a few nice bucks. So no matter what type of a spot you are looking at, take the time to look at it on an aerial photo, Google Earth. There are numerous other programs that can work, and begin to look for these types of areas. And then when you actually go scouting, actually go to check the woods out, begin to look in these areas and look for good stand sites. And even if you're not quite finding the deer sign you like, it can often be beneficial just to know where deer are coming from and where they're going to. Maybe the deer aren't spending a lot of time here, but they are more than likely passing through. Okay, I wanted to give you one more example here of a story that happened to me just a couple of years ago. This is actually in Montgomery County, up around Perkiomenville. And a friend of mine had permission to hunt this piece of land here. And you really can't tell it from the picture, but there's a tremendous hill here. This is a very, very steep hill that goes down this way. But he invited me to come with him, and having never hunted it before I went, I came and I took a look at where it was on Google Earth. Now it may seem kind of non-specific here, but let me zoom in just a little bit to show you what I'm talking about. When we come closer here, you can see that there is a large house with open fields and open yard right in this area. The other thing, which is a little bit difficult to see, there are a couple of houses that are dotted in that come in from this road here. Well, what I very quickly noticed was a large patch of woods here, which is pretty level, and then up here a large patch of woods, on the side of this hill. And what I theorized is that any deer that wants to get from up here to down here is going to have to pass right through this patch of woods. He's not going to come out, in this open area where this house is. He's not going to be in these people's backyards. He's going to travel right between this patch of woods. So I came up here with my measurement and I measured this distance across this patch of woods, and it's only about 123 yards wide. So my decision was simple, that I was going to choose a stand and put myself right in the center of this patch of woods here and to give myself the best opportunity. I hunted that spot one time, and I chose that just based on looking at Google Earth. And I ended up having a 6-pointer coming into about 25 yards. And he just didn't quite give me the right shot. If I was really pushing it, I might have been able to take him. But my point here is that I had an opportunity to take a buck by just choosing a spot based on an aerial photo and realizing this funnel that existed here on the property. If I hadn't looked at this, I wouldn't have known to choose that spot. I might have climbed up the hill here, or I might have come down here and just randomly picked a tree. So even in a spot where you're only going to get to hunt it maybe once or twice, using Google Earth can be one of your best opportunities to choose a stand site. You may not get the opportunity to walk around on the ground and actually find a suitable stand site. Or if you do that, you might spook all the deer out of here. We came in here, we parked, and I went straight in, and I could actually see my car from where we parked, but I still had a real nice 6-pointer come by me. I just couldn't get a shot at it. Okay, well those were a few examples of how I choose to use Google Earth to try to refine my deer scouting. Having a program like this and having a free program like this is really invaluable, especially for the bow hunter, when getting that close to a deer can be very difficult. I encourage you to spend some time on the computer before you go out scouting. I know most of you are probably already out scouting, hanging stands already. But if you take a look at these aerial photos, I think it can allow you to reevaluate some of your stand positions. And then when you spend time in the woods, you can really begin to put a plan together as to how you want to hunt. Well, I hope that this has been useful for you. I hope you have a great season. I look forward to hearing some great stories from you. For Delaware Valley Outdoors, I'm John Hawthorne.